Hi, and welcome to Terry Talks Movies. I'm on the road again, as you can probably guess. I'm heading out on the Western Highway towards Ballarat, 100 kilometres from home. I'm going to a trash and treasure market up there, see if I can find some movies. And I just thought I'd do a bit of a driving vlog. There is going to be talk about movies in this vlog, so don't tune out. It's going to be fun. Let me just adjust this camera slightly here. Get a little bit of a better framing there. I've got the Osmo Pocket mounted on the windshield and it's out of my line of sight, which is pretty good. I was kind of working out angles and things like that. There's a lot of technical stuff I had to do to get this setup working because I could do stuff like this. Dig this when it happens. I can show you where I'm going. So all of that's quite groovy. I'll leave it on there for a little bit. You can have a look at the roads heading towards Melton out on the freeway as I fang it along. It's probably going to get up to 110 kilometers an hour soon if it doesn't already. And looks like we're going to get a bit of weather ahead. So it may turn out to be a shitty rainy day, in which case I won't be doing much vlogging with the camera as I wander around because a lot of the stalls are not undercover at Ballarat's trash and treasure market, but some of them are. Let's overtake this person because it makes better footage. Oh yeah, it's Sunday morning. Everything's fine. A little bit cooler and windier, which presages the coming of autumn. We don't call it fall here because we have fewer deciduous trees than other people do. Anyway, talking about movies, I had a thought that Disney should hire me to run their productions because I know a lot about movies. I won't wear a suit, but I know a lot about movies. And so I thought I had a couple of great ideas for Disney movies. Disney may disagree as to whether they're great ideas or not, but you know, they're Americans. What can you do? First idea was to do Old Yeller as a musical because I think it could be a real winner. Not sure who you get to write the songs, Lin-Manuel or Miranda or somebody like that to write the songs for Old Yeller, the musical, but I think it could be a winner. I think it may well tug the heartstrings. The other thought I had, based on what Disney is already doing, is that they should do a live action version of one of their best movies, the movie that I like most of all Disney movies. And that, of course, is 1946's The Three Caballeros, which had Donald Duck, Jose Carioca, and Panchito, three birds traveling around Central and Southern America, singing songs and macking on beautiful women from South America. I think they should do a live action. They should make a live action version of The Three Caballeros, and Timothy Chalamet should star as Donald Duck because Timothy Chalamet can do anything. So I think he'd make a really good Donald Duck. I'm not sure about the casting for Jose Carioca and Panchito. I was thinking for a while they're Pedro Pascal, but then he is neither Mexican nor Brazilian. He's actually Chilean American. So I'm not sure how the ethnicity thing works there, but it could be a winner. So they're my two ideas for me running Disney. Disney may have some concerns about it, but Old Yeller, the musical, I think is a definite winner. I think that's definitely not going direct to streaming. So how's everyone been? It's been kind of summery off and on here. Weird weather. I know it's been chaotic weather elsewhere in the world, but here it's been particularly chaotic, where we get really, really hot and then really, really cold weather in odd increments. Some friends in northern Queensland have had floods. There's all sorts of weird shit going on, which is fun, I suppose. Hang on, I better slow down just a tad. Take the cruise control off, slow down. But yeah, the weather is odd. Now, as far as movies concerned, got a few things I want to watch in the next few days. I'm going to go see the new Captain America movie, which I am looking forward to because I'm locked onto Marvel. I agree with somebody who online said that there is no such thing as superhero burnout. There's just a burnout for seeing the same kinds of stories being told with a superhero narrative. superhero movies are as wide as you want to make them. That they can be as personal as a one-person story. They can be global and cosmic. They can be telling love stories. They can be telling horror stories. They can be telling war stories. There's no limit to the amount of variety you can have in a superhero narrative. And I like the fact that with the new Captain America movie coming out, they're going back to the real winner, which was Captain America's Civil War, which was essentially a geopolitical spy movie in a superhero matrix. And for me, that works. I think it's a real winner. It's one of those very familiar formats, the very familiar types of stories that hit well with audiences. I wonder if the camera's jiggling around and whether the gimbal is stabilizing it well. I have to check out the footage later because the road here is not the most smooth piece of tarmac I've ever driven on. And I'm jumping all over the place in this narrative. So bear with me on this. Coming up to Milton, which is, it used to be a country town, but is now becoming a kind of exurb of Melbourne. And in case you were wondering, the city of Melbourne is about 40 kilometres in the rear view mirror. Let me just bring you back to B. 1, 2, 3. I'll bring you back to B. 1, 2, 3. Hit the magic button. There we are. And we're back again. Weird times where we're going to avoid politics in this particular driving plot because I'm a little over it. I'm a little bit burnt out like the rest of the planet is. Flooding the field has worked and we're all disengaging. So we'll see how that goes. Having said that, and I'll stick it to very, very local politics, I did have some interesting to and fro's with an independent candidate for a little by-election that we were having in an area adjacent to where I live, in Werribee. There's a candidate who actually ran for state government, the state parliament basically, in the area next to mine when the local member retired. He decided he could do politics and retired, so we get a by-election. And this guy is actually the mayor of another town. He's mayor of a town called Whittlesea, which is 60 kilometres that way. But he decides he wants to be a member of state parliament in our electorate, even though he lives 60 kilometres away. So I had some to and fro with him. He is a dead-on nut job. He is as mad as a cut snake. He is crazy. So we had a bit of back and forth where I said, listen, yeah, you're doing this all wrong. You don't know how to do social media. You don't know how to engage an audience or an electorate. You're promising things you could never deliver. And you probably shouldn't do that. And then he offered to give me a CD of his music because he's a musician, amongst other things. And he said, oh, I bet you'd like my music. You would have a great time with my music. It's really kind of, it's some kind of rock and roll thing. I don't know, that kind of music. And I said, listen, unless you're covering jazz standards, mate, I'm really not going to be interested. But thank you for the offer. So sometimes you can have a good time just engaging on Facebook in groups with lunatic politicians or wannabe politicians. It wasn't like I was calling him a dickhead or really insulting him personally. I was insulting the way he was running his hopeless, chaotic campaign. And I had a good time with that. That was fun. It was me fine-tuning my engagement with social media rather than calling people fuckwits and telling them to piss off and die in a car accident. I was very carefully engaging with what he was saying as a politician. And that was kind of fun. I recommend it. It's actually a good way of cleansing your palate for the bullshit. And I did say I wasn't going to talk about politics, but I did. Okay, we're now heading down towards Bacchus Marsh, which is a fruit growing area. There we go. We're heading down into the valley near Bacchus Marsh. There you can see there's some clouds ahead. So I'm probably going to get rained on at some stage heading up to Ballarat. But I don't mind. I'm in a car. I'm comfortable. I'm having a good time just shooting the shit about everything in the world. See you back as March left late. And while your camera's not on me, I can have a sip of my coffee. Like a lot of people know on the channel, I'm a coffee snob. I like it with coffee. But unfortunately, I went to a roadhouse on the way out of town and picked up an espresso coffee from the roadhouse. Now, this is always fraught with danger and a peril to my taste buds, but I'm going to give it a go and see how we fare with this coffee I've got. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. It's not as bad as McDonald's coffee, because McDonald's coffee is coffee that's been passed through a donkey. It's not good at all. And when I was in the roadhouse, I did have a McDonald's attached to it, and I had the chance to get a McDonald's coffee, but I went with the roadhouse coffee, and it's kind of drinkable, kind of acceptable, strong enough for me to know that there is caffeine in it, and that there's enough caffeine in it to keep me going for the 60 or 70 kilometers of uplift. And by the way, I'm not vlogging the whole drive, just vlogging bits of it, and then when I get to Ballarat and the treasure market, I'll do a bit of a vlog just going through the stuff they've got in the stores as far as DVDs and Blu-Rays concerned. So I'm going to keep the camera facing forward for a while, and hopefully we'll enjoy the company. The other thing I've kind of working out too is I want to rationalize the movie collection. There's a lot of movies in the back room, which is a place I usually film when I'm not filming in the man cave. I'm kind of going to have to, at some stage, get rid of some. And I'm more inclined, I think, to get rid of the DVDs and the Blu-Rays and the 4Ks, because I like having the information intense formats where I possibly can. I think that's a better way to go. And I also got a lot of very ordinary movies in the collection. The sort of things I see a lot when I go out looking for movies in thrift stores, op shops, and treasure markets. So I think I'm going to sit down with a cup of coffee at some stage, go through one shelf at a time, and just take out anything I don't think I'm in love with as a movie, or I don't have a sentimental attachment to as a movie. I think that's probably going to be the way to go with it. And I'll get rid of them. There's a few different ways I could do it. I'm inclined to give them to a charity store. I'll find a charity that I like, which means a secular charity, not something attached to a church. So somewhere that does diabetes or childhood diseases or rheumatism or whatever it is. I'll donate them to that kind of an op shop. And I could go through the process of trying to sell everything on Facebook Marketplace, on eBay, but I'm not an organized person by nature, and putting up listings and following up on listings and then wrapping things up and then taking them down to the post office and mailing them off and getting a few dollars for it isn't something I'm particularly inclined to do. Sally does that a lot better than I do. She sells things online a ton, and she's better organized for that. But for me, I'd rather spend the time working on the channel or editing a video or watching some movies or driving 100 kilometers to look at a bunch of dusty DVDs on a table than doing that kind of thing. I'm really not a kind of office-like admin person, which is weird because I worked in offices for a long time. But nonetheless, that ain't me. And that's not what I enjoy doing. Can I bring the camera back to me now? As soon as it works. There we go, back here again. And we're heading up to Pedland Hills now. And if you're coming the other way, down the Pedland Hills, on a good day you get a really good view of Melbourne in the distance. But here you don't, because we're heading out of town. And those rain clouds up ahead are starting to look very slightly up at us. But we'll see how we go. And Yeah, we're in a high risk area for speed according to the signs on the side of the road. Which nobody's ever tried to solve me speed here. Yeah, I finished the coffee. Yeah, Sal's not with me today. She's at home resting. She had a bit of a intense day yesterday. And so I said to her, I'll go out for a drive. You can have the house and play your music and just chill out for a day because you need that. And mental health stuff's kind of important to us. So she's doing that. I might have to put my headlights up because you tend to do that in country areas in Australia. It just ups the visibility of the vehicle a little bit. As we figured up the hill here. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to rationalize the video library. I'm also looking at rationalizing the books and Brie in the man cave. I think I'm going to have to do it incrementally because I look at the man cave and the mess the man cave is. You've seen it on previous videos. The man cave is an incredible mess. But I'm going to maybe one section at a time, go through this stuff, get rid of the stuff that I don't want, need, or use anymore. And there isn't a lot of that. And just make these a lot more streamlined than they were. So that's probably the winter projects. As the weather gets shittier, I'm less inclined to go outside. I think I'll do a lot of that and again get rid of some stuff through op shops and other meets. As I go along my merry way. Yep, heading up into the Petland Hills. By the way, Ballarat, where we're heading, and I will show you some of the streets of Ballarat in this vlog. Started out as a gold mining town. It was one of the wealthiest gold mining areas of the world, along with Bendigo, another ore city, about 100 kilometres away from Ballarat. But now it's a regional centre. They don't have any active gold mines in Ballarat. The Bendigo, which is a weird place. I like it. I like Bendigo a lot. But it's got these tunnels a kilometre underground where they're still mining gold underneath Bendigo. And a lot of people go around fossicking. They're finding nuggets of gold out in the bush around Bendigo. So it's an odd place to find a soft metal. Okay, now I'm thirsty and I need a drink of water. Fortunately, on this vlog, I did bring water. On previous driving vlogs, I always tell you I forgot water, but this time I brought it. So yeah, I might end this section of the vlog here, so I'll concentrate on the road and play my tunes. But when I get toward Lindery and Ballarat, I'll start up again and we can have a bit of a chat about what's happening there. I'll see you there. Dig this here, it's got really foggy. It's like Twin Peaks out here. I don't know how much you can see on the screen, but it's got quite foggy out here, which is a little bit weird because I haven't seen fog in a long time. But yeah, odd and weird and creepy as hell. I think we're just dipping up into the clouds, getting to a higher altitude, but that's a little bit odd. We're tipping out of it now into a valley, but weird and creepy, and probably should use it as B-roll for something in the future. As this car passes, not too far from Ballarat now. I'm not going to keep the camera on for a lot of this, but I just thought I'd share that with you. It's getting slightly rainy and slightly foggy and slightly weird. Okay, we've reached, and I'm just circling around to get to the Crash and Treasure Market because I think I boo-booed and went down the wrong road because inevitably that happens when I go out for a drive. But we'll get there. Let's just try turning down here. I'm doing this by pure guesswork in a sense. to try to find my way to the trash and the treasure market. So we'll see how we go. Let's just move that around a bit so you're kind of facing forward for. And that was the wrong way to go. Let's do a bit of the hazard. Hopefully I am on the right road, and if I'm not, I'm going to bite the bullet and try the Google Maps. Yep, I'm going to pull over and do the Google Maps. Okay, here's the story. I'm sitting in Wenry. I made a mistake, and I will admit when I make mistakes on the channel, 100%. I've driven 100 kilometres to get to this market, which is permanently closed. It's no longer there. The buildings are being torn down. Everything has gone to shit. This is a tragic tale of me not paying attention to the things I should be paying attention to, and not looking things up and assuming that the universe and everything in it is not going to change in any way over the duration of my lifetime. I was last here a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half. It's no longer there. And I kept driving past it, and the GPS kept telling me I was where I was, but there was nothing there. It was like level to the ground. And I drove around for the best part of an hour trying to find this damn place, which I was right next to, but it had changed completely because everything had been, I'm not sure what I'm going to do now for this vlog. It's confusing and disheartening and sad. I'll probably go home and talk about movies or something like that, but shit a brick. Frustrated and sad and a bit unhappy. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you this much. I'll head around to Lake Wendouree and do some footage around Lake Wendouree, which is quite pretty. But I'm deeply sad because they had some good stuff at that market. So I'm going to reverse the camera now, get going, try to get my mojo back and get my riz together and just see what I can do, because this sucks more than a little bit for me. I was looking forward to finding some movies. But anyway, I'm going to reverse the camera. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We're on the road again. And got to bounce back. Got to do the resilience. Got to find out what the hell's going on. Yeah. This is not great. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to bugger it. I'm going back to Melbourne. I'm going to drive back home and sulk is what I'm going to do. But I might even just go to, what's the time? I've still got time to go to Laverton Trash and Treasure Market. So I might do that. And see what I can find there. Ah, shit. I am so deeply and utterly cheesed off, first with myself, and secondly with this bloody market shutting down. I'm going to have to call middle-aged geek girl now and tell her what's happening, which she's going to be intensely amused by. Here she is now. Oi! I'm just vlogging at the moment. Guess what? That market closed down permanently about 3 months ago. Yeah, and I was spending an hour driving around trying to find it. It's all been flattened. Yes, oopsie. So I'm driving back now. I might go to Laverton Market, or I may go home. I'm just mildly pissed off with myself and with the market. Yes, very much whoopsie. Yeah, I just spoke to middle-aged geek girl who expressed both humour and sympathy, because I kind of don't know if I have the energy to want to go to another market instead, because I've been driving around for a couple of hours now between getting here and trying to find a market that no longer exists. So I'm going to stop vlogging now, and I'll let you know later what I do. Just pissed off at the moment. Okay, I've got myself together a little bit. I'm driving home. I'm going to do something else for the vlog. I was disheartened by that market not being there. And I was disheartened that I was too stupid to realize it is not there. But it all becomes part of the story with a flop. Disaster always makes a twist in the tail. And I'm kind of going with that. The weather's got a little bit brighter. I've had an iced coffee. I'm heading back home. I've talked to middle-aged Greek girl. Weird. That's all I can say. It's been a weird morning for me. So I'm going to add this particular vlog has a bonus vlog for the Patreon supporters and the channel members and all of those people. And then in a week or two's time, I'll put this up on the main channel. What the hell can I say? I'll just pop this around, give me a sec. If you zoomed really far ahead of me here, and I'll just adjust that just a bit more the other way. As we're coming down the Pentland Hills here, you can in the distance see Melbourne past those trees once you get past the trees. But I'm going to take this just as a decent drive. I went out for a drive. I got myself tangled in a knot and I came back again. That's pretty much it. It's just like Homer's The Odyssey, only shorter and dumber. So that's what I've got for you this time around. A little bonus driving vlog that went mad. And so thank you very much for watching. All the usual things. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can support the channel by becoming a channel member, donating through YouTube, or becoming a patron at patreon.com/GaryTalksMovies. I have to now go home and dig up a whole video to put up for tomorrow morning because that's the schedule. So until I do all of that and pull a rabbit out of the hat once more, watch some good movies, watch some bad movies. If you go to a market, make sure the market is open. And I'll catch you next time.